yesterday you had the chance to fill a cotton boll and write your responses. And Raymond, just fill it and tell me what were some things that you wrote on your paper?
It felt soft.
It felt soft. What was another descriptive word you said?
It felt fluffy.
Fluffy. And we talked about how we love cotton. We're all wearing cotton, right? Cotton's pretty important to us. And we talked about Sweet Clara and the Freedom Quilt. You turn to this first page. What's she doing? She's working in the cotton field. Before I was even 12 years old, I got sent from North Farm to Home Plantation because they needed another field hand. What do we know about South Carolina during that time? Especially after the cotton gin was invented. King Cotton. And the cotton gin did what? Cotton production increased and slaves increased as well. So because of that, here comes Sweet Clara, and she's pulled away from her family to come work in these cotton fields. She's sharing with her aunt on this page about being dead tired lying on the floor. Aunt Rachel's idea was sewing, and she started teaching me the very next night. It wasn't easy for me to learn. My hands were already rough and clumsy from hoeing and weeding the fields. So Aunt Rachel took it real slow. In your stations today, you're going to observe a few pictures of slaves working in the cotton fields. Has anyone been to the station yet that you did the tabletop Twitter?
I haven't.
Catherine, what's something that you noticed about the pictures of the slave hands? Cut up and wrinkly. What does that make you think now that you know that you saw real pictures of slave hands? Why do you think it would be difficult for Clara to learn to sew?
Because her hands are all dry.
Her hands are all calloused.
Her hands are dry, so she can't move them that good.
And your other stations, you're going to be looking at Sarah. She's a daughter of a plantation owner. And these are two excerpts from her diary. You're also going to read Clara. She doesn't have a diary. This is a conversation. This is dialogue. Why do you think she doesn't have a diary, Alexi?
Because Claire's a slave. Slaves don't know how to draw or write.
They don't know how to write or read. So you're going to read a conversation that she is having with her Aunt Rachel about being a slave in the cotton fields. Once you read these two different entries, you're going to analyze the different perspectives that they have. What have we talked about? What is a perspective? Brianna.
Whenever you're thinking of something and then someone else has a different one, like you think that you're the best teacher, and then this pageant probably thinks that she's the best teacher.
So we have two different perspectives on the same topic, right? And our topic in these stations is cotton. And you had one perspective at the beginning of this lesson. You thought this cotton was soft and fluffy and wonderful, right? It brought South Carolina a lot of cash. This was our biggest cash crop in the 1800s. And now you're going to all of these stations with Tabletop Twitter. You're going to be analyzing some real pictures of slaves in the cotton fields. you're reading two entries from two different perspectives and how these girls felt about cotton. And also at your Ed Puzzle, you are listening to a recording of a real slave's voice during the time of him working in the cotton fields. And once we do all of that, you're going to be finished with your stations today. You each are going to get to feel this cotton again. And when you feel this cotton again, maybe you're going to feel it from a different perspective, right? And we will write our recordings on the chart and on the back of your chart here to see if your perspective has changed since you've done a little research, okay? So just a minute, you're going to get ready to go to your stations. And once you're in your stations, you can begin working